Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a good one for you today. We're going to talk about Brian Brooks. We found a spot he's going to land, and it might not be the only one. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the, let's see here. What do I got here? Oh, Ethereum losing customers like crazy. The house of cards for Ethereum may be coming down. We're going to get into that, and we've got an example of it. BIS meeting with the who's who of the central banking world. And will Ripple become a bank, or will RippleNet become a bank? Let's roll that beautiful intro and get into this.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at 47.67 this morning. You would think to yourself, hey, big deal, right? Yeah, well, the big deal is we're back at that level that we need to get above to see that support, to see that resistance turn into support. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We are ranging right now between 42.89 and 50 cents. So head on a swivel here, folks. Head on a swivel. This is crypto. You never know. In other news, and we're up over 9% on the 24-hour on XRP, by the way. So this from CoinDesk. Bids are now over $1 million mark for Elon Musk crypto theme NFT sale. Damn, that's incredible. And right while we're here, in another 2 hours and 48 minutes or so, you're going to have access to the first time this category of real estate. Look at this. California condos, that's a great one. Manhattan condos. I love this. Buy foreclosures.crypto. Oh my God, I wish I could scoop all these up. I mean, there's some really great ones in here. Florida condos, Nashville homes. I mean, forget about it. Forget about it. So this is great stuff. I get lost in it. I love it. And it is March Madness. Today is the first day that what you're seeing here, penthouses.crypto, luxury homes. I mean, that's incredible. Rentals.crypto. This is remarkable. There's some great ones. Obviously, they get pretty expensive too. But I mean, look at these. Mortgage.crypto. That's amazing. Tell me. Anyway, so there it is. It starts today, 2 hours, 48 minutes. You will have access to these .cryptos for the first time ever. Don't mess around. These things are going fast. And look, it's not financial advice, but it's clear to me personally that non-fungible tokens, NFTs, are not a trend. They are going to be a keystone in bringing back value to intellectual property to the internet. That's all I can tell you right there. Don't believe that. It's still true. This is BlockFi, now worth more than $3 billion. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to give it to you in short. They have all kinds of crypto credit cards that they're releasing. You could do a traditional underwriter card for a credit score. You could put up some Bitcoin or other crypto. You could get cash and the whole bit. And they're very excited about what they're doing. And it just made me think of the idea and notion that, Coinbase is, getting ready to do an IPO. We already know that they're doing private equity through NASDAQ. They are doing a direct listing, I believe is how they're going to do it. And look, this moment we're in, if you're hearing me and my voice, you are a pioneer in this space. A vanguard even. Right? To be this early to this space, I just think is remarkable because, as you will see in a minute, I miss the internet and I've missed a lot of things in my life, and I'll be 50 next month. But I'll tell you this, I'm not missing crypto. Okay. And it just reminded me of the picks and shovels that Link2 has that they bring on board and sell SPVs for. And you can see look how quickly Kraken was on here just the other day. It's gone already. Bloomreach is a new company that's helping people connect into the digital world. Uphold obviously is just been replenished. That doesn't last long. And I don't know if you guys are following any of this because you may or may not be an accredited investor, but I think not too long from now, we get a pop in our portfolio for crypto, and a lot of you hearing this will be an accredited investor. Don't sleep on that. And then it gives me access, the way I think about it, to double down, and I can diversify over into the picks and shovels and not just to crypto and tech. So I'm very excited about that moment to happen for me and many others out here. If you're interested in that as well, make sure you check it out. Okay, Brian Brooks has landed at the board of data sharing startup Spring Lab. Shout out to him. He's going to be a board member there. And shout out to Joni and Steve Gulbranson for sharing that with me, because I did just ask just the other day. It's almost like we talked him up. We got the voodoo rolling, you know. But I did just ask the other day where he was going to land. And this is at least one of the places as a board of directors. So we will keep an eye on that as well. And congratulations to Brian Brooks. This is interesting. I couldn't get this article to open up. I don't know if Crypto News Watch doesn't care for me or what it is. I'm not really sure, but they wouldn't let me see the article. But I tried to sign up and subscribe. But at any rate, Ray Dalio says the U.S. can target those ditching the dollar for Bitcoin. And I'll just let that be right there. I did want to highlight, I did cover this in my earlier video today, and I think it's really pertinent to keep an eye on the things that if you're frustrated about XRP price, but you have claimed Spark tokens, which is the FLR token, well, its range right now has gone up to $1.87 and currently sitting at about $1.63 according to Jilts, XR Peeps, and appreciate the post. And what I'd say is like, while we're waiting for XRP to work out, I could tell you from a personal view here, I'm not unhappy about that number at all. So who's the fool for owning XRP? Because it's not this guy. I can tell you that. Gas tokens, 300%. I did cover this earlier in the article. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it other than to say I broke down in the earlier video today problems with Bitcoin, problems with Ethereum, and problems with XRP. It's the lawsuit with XRP. It's the gas fees with Ethereum. And it's the carbon footprint and the length of transaction and settlement time and all this business with Bitcoin. So it doesn't mean they're all worthless. It just means those are the issues in front of those particular tokens, right? Those currencies at the time. So now looking at this, here's real evidence of those fees and what it's doing. This comes from Michael Val 5 Links. Ask the Doctor, a global digital health platform that publishes health and wellness content and creates SaaS solutions for healthcare professionals, announced they will switch their Ask token and Ethereum ERC20 token over to Cardano. Look, between the XRP ledger, Flare Networks, and Cardano, I have to say, you know, there looks to be real trouble mounting for the Ethereum network. If they cannot get these gas fees under control, it will be the perfect advertisement for Cardano and Flare Networks in the XRP ledger. I can guarantee you that. And it looks like it's already taken hold. Look here. You don't want to forget about this. This is the BIS, the Central Bank of Central Banks. International Conference on Cross-Border Payments. Isn't that that's the damnedest thing, isn't it? On cross-border payments takes place March 18th and 19th and will explore the potential of new cross-border payments, among other topics. If we could only find a token that has really worked on that, I don't know. I think I've heard rumblings about Ripple and XRP working on this cross-border business, but we'll have to see. And here is another meeting that's going to happen just after that one, and it's March 23rd. And look who's going to be at this one. I showed you this the other day. This is the biggest names in central banking land. Jerome Powell from Federal Reserve, Jens Wiedmann from Deutsche Bundesbank, and then Augustin Carstens himself from the Bank of International Settlements, Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of England, now at the UN Special Envoy on Climate Action and Finance and Prime Minister Johnson's finance advisor. Say that 5 times fast. And Christine Lagarde from European Central Bank, Brad Smith from Microsoft, and Cecilia Skingsley, who is the deputy governor of Riksbank, and Sir John Cunliffe from Bank of England, and the governor of the Central Bank of Bahamas, which I mentioned the other day, has already released their Bahamian sand dollar CBDC for testing. That is remarkable. And I did want to remind people again, this is big stuff. Don't sleep on this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Patent reveals that Ripple's on-demand liquidity can be used by banks, governments, and corporations. Very quickly, stay with me. I'm going to follow this up with the idea that I believe we could see Ripple remain a special acquisition company known as a SPAC, and RippleNet potentially becoming a bank and maybe relocating or locating in Wyoming. We're going to discuss that right now. But just understand that as of February 21st, over 400 banks are a part of RippleNet. 400 banks, over 400 banks are part of RippleNet. However, according to ODL patent now assigned to Ripple Labs, the system can transmit anything of value beyond currencies. The XRP ledger, real-time gross settlement of other digital currencies, stocks, bonds, securities, and much more. It's a big deal, can be used by companies, banks, corporations, all across industries. You wouldn't believe it. So, excuse me, as I said, and I'm sorry if I cough too loud in your ear, didn't mean to do that, it was unexpected. My apologies. Here we see an article that shows back in 2000, internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. Boy, that didn't age well, did it? You know, and I'm going to tell you right now, I was around for the internet, and when it came to that, I was in a trance. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about all these things that were popping up. Man, isn't that neat? It was like, they got Google now and, and all this stuff. Never thought for a second that I should take a little bit of my own money and put in it like I'm doing now with crypto. But make no mistake, I miss the internet and I'm not missing crypto. And that's not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. Now here, we remember that we saw this, and shout out to Crypto Dem who sent me this from 3T Warrior as just a reminder, because we've talked about Ripple and RippleNet becoming a bank because of the Wyoming license. But I thought it was good that we revisit it because a few days ago, there was another piece of news that came out of Wyoming. Let's talk about that right now. So first of all, we had this first piece of news, Ripple now registered as Wyoming business, more crypto companies and da-da-da-da-da. We know that Ripple had filed for a business license, and it is an active business license in Wyoming. That set the conversation. When that came out, we talked about the idea of Ripple or RippleNet becoming a bank. And then back on March 10th, just 6 days ago, legislation recognizing, listen to this, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, as companies, decentralized autonomous organizations, DeFi, protocols, and enterprise software that runs itself, basically, right? The governance, the compliance, it's all built in. There's legislation now that's been passed by the Senate in Wyoming that recognizes those as companies. It was approved in the Senate. Now the bill proceeds to the Wyoming House of Representatives, where it will become law if passed unaltered. Wyoming will be the first state to pass such legislation into law. DAOs are companies whose governance is built on smart contracts and where decision-making is shared around the organization rather being centralized under a boss or executive. The legislation would allow DAOs to set up in Wyoming, adding greater legitimacy to cryptocurrency projects and further enhancing the state reputation as a blockchain-friendly jurisdiction for new companies. The state also introduced a bill in February to build a blockchain-based system for companies to file reports, data, and other information required by law. Okay. Let's take a look at this. This is RippleNet, right? And what I want to get to here is a single connection, access to best blockchain technology for global payments, payout capabilities, 40 plus currencies, on-demand liquidity, alternative pre-funding, operational consistency through a common rule book. Again, DAOs are companies whose governance is built on smart contracts and where decision-making is shared around the organization rather being centralized under a boss or executive. Coming back to this on Ripple's site, I just want to go right here and say leverage cutting-edge blockchain technology, streamline payments and service to reduce costs. And there was a section, I believe, right in here. So RippleNet offers connections to hundreds of financial institutions, right? Hundreds of connections to financial institutions built on smart contracts where decisions making is shared around the organization. Shared around the organization. This sounds like RippleNet, ladies and gentlemen. This sounds like, with knowing that they got a business license in Wyoming already, the next step would be to get a banking charter from the OCC or even from Wyoming itself, right? But maybe for RippleNet, and turning that into, instead of just enterprise software, right, and turning it into a actual brick and mortar full-on company or bank. I don't know, but something is afoot. There's a reason that Ripple got a business license in Wyoming, and it isn't for anything, and I haven't heard them saying anything about wanting to start a lemonade stand. So we have to assume, and I know that that's not always the best thing to do, but for now, I have to say, I'm leaning into the idea that RippleNet itself may become that bank, and Ripple may remain a SPAC, known as a special purpose acquisition company. If you think about what Ripple's history has been, right, having the XRP ledger, releasing that, and then it becomes its own nonprofit foundation behind it, right? And then we have RippleNet that's been created, right? And all the different products that they've created for all these different companies, right? RippleNet, over 400 banks, could be its own entity, right? It is its own entity, period. So, this gets more interesting by the day. We'll keep an eye on it, but I really do believe there's a there. Okay, and then there was a question here from Adeo. I think, and if I said your name wrong, please forgive me. He asked a question in a thread: can the President of the United States intervene? #XRP. Jeremy Hogan responds back, because he had did a video, which was a great video, and obviously if you haven't seen it, go watch it, on the John Deaton motion to intervene with the SEC. I watched it last night, and it was fantastic. Jeremy responds here: certainly could. I was kind of hoping the vice president might get involved. She's from San Francisco, so she must be familiar with the tech startup scene. Right? And I couldn't help but chime in and said, maybe the U.S. Treasury and FSOC intervene, especially if we see a currency designation at some point. XRP Ledger and or RippleNet could become a SIFMU or SIFMI, which is systemically important financial market utility or infrastructure, maybe even deemed a public good. That's going to do it right there. Before we get out of here, I did want to show you there's quite a few people. We're up over 9% in the last 12 hours on XRP right now. So head on a swivel, folks. It might not look like much, but it never does until it is. And right here, we see another one, Crypto Bull 2020, saying, we touched the upper trend line, drew weeks ago, perfectly again for the third time. Looks like 7 more days of consolidation in this wedge before price will move up. So head on a swivel all through the week here. And another one, XRP price bounce back, and this is from coinpedia.org, saying and supporting the same thing. And when I start to see the technical analysis folks out here in the space recognizing the same things together, I say to myself, okay, we really need to start tuning in here. But that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Ripple a bank or RippleNet a bank? That's what I want to know. Leave a comment in the description or in the comment under the video, and check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. They are products and services that I use each and every day, and they are vetted, trusted links. I Trust Capital is the best gold, crypto, silver IRA going on the planet. No doubt about it. Make sure you check that out. They're doing an NFT giveaway as well. I'll catch all of you on the next one.